Welcome to my first live cast. I was going to actually do this yesterday and had a couple of mishaps. So now I'm actually running Stable Diffusion off RunPod. So because I don't have a second computer yet, it's just going to make it easier to do it because it kept shutting down the actual video feed, which is not convenient when you're trying to do this. All right, so what I'm going to actually be going over today is I'm going to show you guys how to actually. I made a post about this last week, turning a sketch into a comic book character. So I'm going to be using Clip Skip. Now, if you don't have Clip Skip, it's fine because you can actually use anything like Photoshop, Krita, all that. The only reason that I like using Clip Skip mainly is because I feel it's a little bit more fluent when it comes to drawing, whereas Photoshop, the brushes aren't as great when it comes to comic book art. You can't really get that sharpness that you can with Clip Skip. I know Krita has something similar, but the interface, I've tried to use it a few times, it drives me insane. Photoshop is fine to use if you've only got that, and I think PhotoP, you'll be able to get some pretty decent results out of PhotoP. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over now to Clip Skip Studio. And so I've got a 1024 by 1024 file. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just sketch out a character. And it doesn't matter if you, as you probably saw in the post that I did last week, it doesn't really matter how great your drawing skills are. Like, you don't have to be perfect when it comes to this. We're going to use the Canny model in ControlNet in order to turn whatever it is that you can draw a circle and it'll turn it into something great, obviously. But in this case, what I'll do is I'll draw a character and then we'll use the SDXL to turn that into something like much better. As you saw that's actually how I created the thumbnail for this video. So if you saw that in the beginning, the thumbnail, actually I'll switch over to it. And that's the thumbnail. And I'll go back to Clip Skip now. So that's the thumbnail that I actually made yesterday while I was trying to start this and it crashed. But I love that piece. So I thought, you know what, might as well use it for this live stream today. So what I'm going to do is, I'll just start sketching something. Make sure I got my pen turned on. Again, you don't have to be an incredible artist when it comes to this. It just helps if you know at least some proportions. But then again, as you probably saw in the post that I did last week, it wasn't the greatest thing in the world. I literally just did that in 3 seconds. So we just need to sketch something quickly out. keep looking at because I've got my iPad here showing me what's streaming, just to make sure I'm still on, because yesterday I thought I was streaming and then all of a sudden my video feed was like, so I was like, what in the world is going on? So yes, I'm still live, which is great. But yeah, unfortunately, it's because I tried to push the computer to do much more than it's capable of, unfortunately. And it's a beast of a computer, but yeah, I was asking it to upscale the image while I was streaming, and yeah, that wasn't great. So all right, so I got 3 people viewing at the moment. Let me know how it sounds, if it sounds okay, because yeah, I've tried to keep the settings the same as when I record my videos, so it's not too loud, I hope. So what I'll do first is I'll just do this rough sketch and then we'll run it through ControlNet and we'll see what it gives us, right? Good night, club. How you doing, Lux? Is it Lux? It's Lux. Okay. All right, so what I'll do is I'll start with that. Oh, Lux is going to sleep. Is that what that is? All right. Good night, Lux. And all right, let's export this out and send it to, we'll do a PNG and we'll export this to Stable Diffusion. Where are we? All right. And all right, so let's skip over now. Stable Diffusion. So I've got this running. Where are we? I've got this running on a run pod at the moment. So it might come up with some odd things here in the corner. Oh, sorry to hear that, Lux. Yeah, whereabouts are you? I'm in Australia, so here it's 9 in the morning. All right, so I've loaded up the Reality's Edge. So this is the model that I've been using for a while when it comes to the comic book art. I'm finding that I'm getting the best results out of this. There are a couple of other ones that I've used, but I find that the ones that are dedicated specifically for US style comic books, they have a tendency of adding way too much detail, and I don't like the way that looks. So let's do my usual settings, and I will do the Anime Sharp upscaler, so the 4x upscaler. This is actually, like, when it comes to upscaling, I know a lot of people use the Ultra Sharp, but I'm finding that I get better results with the Anime Sharp when it's something that's cartoonish or comic books. So we'll do Clip Skip 2. We don't need any VAEs for this. I haven't really needed to. Let's do 50 sampling steps. Denoising, we'll bring that down to 0.5 because we don't want it to change the image once it's actually created it. 1024, 1024, leave everything else as it is, and we'll change this to comic book. Now what this is going to do is it'll actually add to whatever I put in the prompt. It'll add something to it, which it'll tell it to be more like a comic book style. So if you haven't used that, that's actually really handy. It saves you having to do certain things. I need to stop hitting that. All right. Let's get what we drew up. We'll put it in there. And then we'll enable this. Now, because this is on RunPod, I've only got a couple of models in there, but it's fine because the only one that I actually want is the canny. So we'll go with canny. And let's see if we have to reload this. It's not giving me the models. Give me a second. I might have to actually restart this. So let's reload the UI. Just hang with me, guys. Oh, you're in Brazil. It's hot as hell here. I'm actually starting to sweat here. All right. Let's try. See what's up with this run pod. There we go. And I'll see if that's loaded now because it should be in there. Why are you not loading? I'm just going to check in the Jupyter lab. See what's going on. So I'm going to actually bring the Jupyter lab in here as well. That way you guys can see what it is that I'm doing. Alright, is that on there? I think it's on there. Yep. Alright. So we'll go to extensions, control net, and in models, here it is. Okay, so the problem was that I have downloaded them, but for some reason it's added download true to the ends of these. So I just need to rename these. Get rid of that download true because it has downloaded them. But for some reason it just adds that to the end of it. Canny. Oh, won't do that one. What's the one that we actually want? We want the Canny Excel ones. Alright. We'll just stick to those for now. We'll do this one as well. I don't usually use a line art one anymore. I know that some people swear by it, but yeah, I'm not always having the best results with it. And what I'll do is I'll restart Stable Diffusion. There we go. Alright. Let's see what we got now. I might have to actually restart the UI. Oh, here we go. Perfect. This is what we want. We want the full, mid, and small for that. So let's just go through this again, just quickly. We'll set that to 50, high res. We'll put this at anime sharp, 0.5. As for the high res steps, I'm not sure really what that does. To be honest, I've tried doing it at like 8, 16, and 0, and sometimes it just makes the render go longer, but I don't see any benefit to it. There probably is, I don't know. Okay, we'll set this to comic book, and I'll get to the prompt in a second, but first what I'll do is I'll drop in the image that we drew at the beginning. Okay, and then we'll enable that. Pixel perfect, allow, actually we don't need the preview because we've technically already got the pre-processing done. So we don't need to do any pre-processing. So we can set this to canny and then just click none. Usually it's a good idea if you're going to do this sort of thing is probably give it a cleaner image, but we'll test out what it's going to give us, and we'll switch this to full. Okay. All right. So as for the prompt, what I'm going to do is let's drop this in here. It might take a second because this isn't local. It might take a second to load it, but what I'm doing is I'm actually dropping another image in there to load the prompt from that image. There we go. All right, so we don't need any of this. And we don't need the negative prompt because it's going to do it itself anyways. We'll get rid of that and the end part. Okay. Now we've got that. It'll have its own negative prompt that'll add itself. I don't worry about that too much. I just want to play around with this for now. And let's generate that and see what it gives us. So, all right, this is one of the issues that I find that SDXL, the control nets aren't that great. Not like they were with the 1.5s. The 1.5s, the control nets were like really on point. These ones have a tendency of kind of doing what you want, but not really. So the image is, like, well, the proportions are kind of where I drew them, but firstly, you might want to do this, is add Superman to the prompt and Batman. I find that when you write the word superhero in the positive prompt, you're going to get Superman or Batman or Spider-Man showing up, even if like you don't type those characters' names in. So I'm going to leave that in there now and see what it gives me. And I might switch over to the medium one instead and see what happens with that. Because yeah, it's I don't know why, but yeah, as soon as you type in superhero, that's all you're gonna get. I mean, the quality is pretty good. The one thing that I usually don't like about doing this, because I've actually put them in New York City, because if you put Metropolis, it's not going to know what Metropolis is. But the one thing that I don't like usually is the buildings in SDXL and even 1.5 sometimes come out warped. In this case, it's actually come out really good, but you can see the kind of lines here on the side. Let's zoom in a bit. The lines here on the side are really like they're kind of wiggly or whatever. It's not really that straight, whereas you've got some buildings up here that actually look pretty good. And for some reason, every time I do this prompt, it always does an explosion behind the superhero. I'm not sure why, but all the ones that I did yesterday using this prompt did the exact same thing. So what I might do is, let's try that again, now that we've got Superman and Batman in there, and see what it gives us. It's not even close. Alright, we're going to have to try something different, because this is not liking it at all. Diffuses Excel. What I might do is, while that's loading, I'm actually going to download a new model from Civet AI. Let's do that. and it's actually pretty quick to do it on RunPod. So like usually if you were to download like a 5 gig, depending on your like computer or your internet, obviously, it usually takes a little bit of time to download these models, but this is actually like doing it from Civet AI to not realistic comics, comics. Doing it from Civet AI to your RunPod is actually pretty quick. What's a good one? We don't want SDXL. We'll do iComics. All right. So where are our models? So now you'll see it's actually really quick when we do this. So what we'll do is go wget space and then paste in whatever model that you've asked for. Are you going to do it? Of course, when you're doing it live, that's when everything goes wrong, right? Let's see what it gave us. Oh, well, it didn't give us Superman or Batman, but it's definitely not giving us what we wanted. So we'll get rid of high res fix, and we might need to go into a little bit more detail with our superhero. Is that working yet? Nope. All right. We'll go back into clip skip and we'll do a little bit more detailing in this. Maybe I was a little bit too rough. Actually, I'll show you what it is that I had yesterday. So this is what I drew yesterday, which is what you saw in the thumbnail. So we can actually try this one. Let's give this one a go. And switch over to stable again. And we'll switch that over. Okay, let's give that a go. You're not even trying. See, that's the issue that I keep having with the SDXL model. So let's go with the 1.5 pruned for the time being. Copy link address. And let's see if I can get this downloaded while we're waiting for that to load. Doesn't like this model. Let's see if we can go to the hug. I'll see if I can go to the hugging face. iComics. Yeah, we'll try and download it from the hugging face thing instead. Where are we? Where's the model? Alright. It's just easier if I see it on here. Where is the model? I'm going to take it off the live just in case. These things, sometimes they don't have the most savory of images. No images generated. No idea where that went. Oh, we'll find another one. Civet. Oh, let's go with this one. I haven't used this one yet, but we're about to see if it's any good. All right. Get. It might be these links that these. No, don't go there. Hold on. No, I think it's the actual. Let's try again. It's giving me these long extensions. I think I might need to reduce that. Done. All right. Which means I could have done iComics. Now the good thing with the iComics is that it is a 1.5 model, and so is this one. So let's go iComics, find that one as well. Download, copy the clean link, and then we'll get that one as well. No, what am I doing? wget, and let's just clean that up. All right. And while that's loading, I just got to rename the other one because it saves it as a number for some reason. It doesn't save it as the actual file name, but it's easy because you just click here onto the actual link and it'll try and download it. So we can just copy that and then come in here and just rename it. Okay. And iComics is slightly larger, but I'll get the file name ready. Cool, that's done. We'll rename this one. Beautiful. Okay. Now, unfortunately, this does mean that we need to probably restart this, right? Let's see. Hopefully not. Yes, don't have to restart it. Thank goodness. Because it's a pain in the butt. Alright, so we've got this already preloaded, and now we're going to have to actually switch to the 1.5 canny. This might take a minute. Alright, let's see what this gives us. It may also be an issue with the graphics card that I chose, because there was no 3090s. What in the world is that? I mean, it's definitely followed the image that I gave it, so in case you didn't see it, I'll show it to you now. Where are we? So that's the image that I fed it, and this is the image that it's gotten back. Ugh. Oh, that's why. Let's go back to 512 because I forgot we're using SDXL now. So we're not using SDXL now, so we'll upscale it. So we've got a 1024 by 1024. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this iComics. That's why I started using the other one with SDXL. I get a lot better results. All right. Slightly better. See, the good thing with this one is it's actually listened to what I said when I said that I wanted New York City in the background, which is great. But let's see what it gives us. What in the world? Why is it faded? I don't have any VAEs, unfortunately. Oh, I do. Dumb. Should have gone with that. But I love what it's done with these buildings. Like it's gone quite creative when it comes to these buildings. But for some reason, it's not. It's following. You know what? I'm gonna actually make it. So let's balance it. So then it actually gives it a bit of space to create. And then hopefully it'll be able to give us better line art that way. Because sometimes if you don't let it get crafty on its own, like if you don't give it a bit of space to breathe, it has a tendency of being restricted to the lines that you drew, but which you don't want because obviously we gave it like an extremely rough sketch. So let's see what it gives us. Much better. As I said, I'm not a big fan of this. Let's switch over to the Arthemy comics. I'm not sure what that is. I think it's more of an anime sort of model, but we'll see what it gives us. And we might switch over to a different. Actually, we'll go to a newer one. A 3M. And we'll bring this back up to 7. Well, let's see what it gives us. Now, the thing is, if you wanted to have a specific character coming out every single time it's done a comic book cover, you'd need to have obviously a character lore already made, as I've shown you in my previous videos. Then that way you'll be able to control what comes out every single time. So let's say if we're doing a comic book and we have, let's see what this looks like. It doesn't look great. It does not look great. See, I'll show you what it actually gave me yesterday when it was letting me use SDXL. Obviously, you would have seen this. So the quality of that is 100 times better. Obviously, this is SDXL. It's been upscaled to 2K through the, what is it? Through the high-res fix. All right. It also gave me. I made sure to save them because I'm like, if I don't save them, I'm gonna regret it. That's the other thing. if you're using RunPod, be sure to save everything that you make because it will not save it. As soon as you close RunPod, that's it. It's all gone. What else did it give me? For some reason, it kept on making my characters blue. So let's have a look at this one. I'm not sure what in the world that is all about. But the quality of it's actually really good. Like if you look at the cross-hatching and stuff, it actually came out really good. Let's check out what else. Oh yeah. For some reason, it started giving me skulls. I wrote because what it was is in the original image, as you can see, there's a skull on his chest. So I wrote skull on his chest, and instead of giving me a skull on his chest, it gave me a Batman symbol and actually gave him a skull. Which, in all honesty, if that's what I was asking for, this is freaking amazing because the quality of the image is incredible. It wasn't though. But aside from that, like the actual image is pretty on point. This is one thing that I wanted to touch upon is I've started using pedestrians and cars in the negative prompt as well because you will find that when it does add its own cars, it doesn't know which side, like which way cars are meant to be facing. So sometimes, like you'll have a car actually facing in towards a building, or like just it makes no sense at all. Like they're parked weird. As you can see in this one, you've actually got two cars fused together, and the same thing happens with pedestrians. You'll have pedestrians that like look like your character, or like you'll have pedestrians like merged with something. It makes no sense at all. Um, and then it gave me this. What did I do? I just locked it. And then it gave me this. So you see that the quality of the image is amazing on this. The buildings don't look too crash hot, but the actual character looks pretty awesome. It's actually given me really cool muscles. I mean, like there's certain things here that I would probably do like a in painting sort of fix that. Certain muscles here that it's given me, but I think that was my fault. I actually added certain lines that I should have erased. So what I'm going to do is we'll go into clip skip now, and we'll go back to our first image, and we'll actually go into a little bit more detail because I went way too simplified with this. So if you guys have any questions or anything like that, leave them in the comments or in the live chat if you're here. Even if it's about one of the recent videos that I've put out. The last one that I put out was about animating using Animate Diff. And I know it's a little bit of a divisive sort of topic at the moment because I find that like even in the comic book industry, like comic book artists are not liking the people using Stable Diffusion or it's mostly been Midjourney that people have been using, because they find that they call it, they say that it's not art, but then again, what is art really? Um, at the end of the day, we're literally just creating stories. It's all make believe, but some people get a little bit touchy about it, which I understand. If you spend most of your life trying to master something and then someone comes in and does it a little bit quicker or whatever, or as they believe makes their job obsolete, which is not true, because there's always going to be people who want artists, to do their work. This, I purely see Stable Diffusion. I don't see it as a replacement to artists. I see it more as just another tool. It's like using photo. Well, in this case, it's like using Clipskip, right? It's not a replacement for artists. If anything, it's just a way to make their jobs slightly faster if they wanted to. But I see a lot of people, straight up like, no, never going to happen, never going to use it. Okay, that's fine. But at the end of the day, like, it's no different than saying, I don't like Photoshop, I'm never going to use it. You can say that all you like, but Photoshop is going to make your work a little bit easier or a little bit faster, than having to do everything the old school way. Which, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with like sitting down with a piece of paper and drawing it. I don't have much patience for it. Um, I don't have much patience for collecting pencils and pens and all that, which is why I bought a Cintiq so I can actually draw on the computer. And now that Stable Diffusion's out, it's just like, hold on, you mean I can like rough things out and do the rest of the work that way? Fantastic. That's what I want. And that's something that I've actually been meaning to ask you guys as well. Like, um, are there any comic book artists watching? Like, I know that there's a lot of people who are just purely interested in, getting to know how to use AI to make their comic books, as they've never been able to draw, which is fine. But I'm just wondering if there's any actual comic book artists there who, out here, who are trying to learn how to use Stable Diffusion. Because I know I've got mates who, one specifically is a comic book artist, and he's kind of a little bit, I don't know, he's worried about dipping his feet into, this, because it, might change his art or whatever. I don't know if that's the right way of putting it. But there's a lot of artists, there's a lot of creators, really, not just artists, who are kind of like, nah, that's not art. I don't want to touch it, which is fine. To each their own. Again, this isn't going to replace them in any way. Alright, so we're giving it a little bit more detail. Let's see how that goes. Alright, so we'll switch back to stable now. And we'll give it the new picture. wherever it is that I put it. There we go. All right, so hopefully this should be a little bit more information that it can use. Let's give that a go. Why is it doing an old man? Oh yeah, I forgot to get rid of the word angry. That might be, it's doing an angry old man for some reason. With very questionable choice of attire. I don't know what's with the nipples. Okay. That is strange to say the least. Yeah, let's get rid of that. Yeah, I don't think I like this. I definitely don't like this model. I want to get the Reality's Edge working again. It might just be the actual GPU that I've selected on this run pod. Because yesterday I was using one that was ridiculously powerful in comparison to this. So it may just be the... I'll turn off the high-res fix. We'll switch over to, let's say, mid. And let's give that a go. Bump this back up to 1024. Because, yeah, it might be just struggling with the high-res fix. I might just be pushing it way too far. Ah, crap. I need to get rid of that VAE. It's not going to act well. Forgot about that. See, it's not using it at all. That's what the VAE does. If it's the wrong one. So we'll get rid of that. Let's see what will happen if we actually leave the processor on. I'm not entirely sure why the SDXL isn't working. But yeah, I have a feeling it's got something to do with the GPU. Let's try the line art one because we've also got that one as well. Do we? Yes. See what I mean? It's given us the Spider-Man head. That's just stupid. We'll go with none. And we'll choose the... I don't even know if that's going to work, to be honest, because it's not the actual model. No, not even close. It's just giving me a whole variety of Supermen. We'll just go back to iComics again. And 512, 512. I'll figure that out later. Okay, so green costume, mask. Let's get rid of the word superhero because it's driving me nuts. It keeps on giving me Superman. Mask. And Let's just try that for now. What is with this model? Not a big fan of it. Could it be Pixel Perfect that's destroying it? Might be. Let's give that a go. I think it's just the model. It's kind of been, it's whatever it's been trained on. It's kind of got a like a painted sort of look. It sucks. Not a big fan of that. How is that a man? Okay. Well, once that one loads, I might leave it there. But alright. This is a very weird. I'm going to play around with this model a little bit more because it is strange. I don't know what it's been trained on. That looks like a weird green Pikachu looking dude. Anyways, so yeah, what do you guys think about the actual technique? If you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. If there's anything like that I didn't cover in this, for instance, like how to actually get SDXL working. No, I'll cover that in a more concise video because there's something wrong with this. But I'm thinking I might do these live presentations every Tuesday morning for me. So I think in America it might be like Monday afternoon. But yeah, I'm thinking of doing that. We'll just do like an hour stream. And so if you guys have any questions, you can come onto here, ask me, because usually what I'll do is I'll upload a video during the weekend, and sometimes I get a lot of questions. So if you want to come on here and ask me, that'd be great, and then we can play around with this. All right, guys. So I am going to end the stream now, if I know what I'm doing. All right. So I'll see you guys next week, but I'll have another video up on the weekend. So I believe Saturday night for me, probably Friday for you guys in America, because most of my audience seems to be from America or that area. All right, I'll see you guys later.